guys, so today's video is all about how to shop sustainably. I have talked a lot about minimalism, decluttering your wardrobe in particular, and how to be more sustainable in your lifestyle overall. So I really wanted to make a video all about how to shop sustainably, because if you have decluttered and if you've stopped shopping as much, you still need to shop, you still need to get clothes sometimes, and there are ways in which you can do this far more sustainably than maybe you would initially have thought. I've changed a lot of my habits when it comes to shopping, and I'm a lot more conscious and aware of how I can do this in a better, more environmentally friendly way. So let's get into it. I have 5 tips and here they are. So probably the most important thing is to shop secondhand. When I first quit fast fashion and I became aware of the fashion industry and how bad it is, I knew how to charity shop. I was an avid charity shopper. I loved secondhand shopping and vintage shopping. And so I just stuck to that. I thought, I know that this is ethical, I know that this is sustainable, and I know that this is the best way to go about it. So honestly, go charity shopping, go to your vintage shops, and make sure that if you're looking to buy something, try and source it secondhand first. You'd be surprised how much luck you can have when it comes to shopping secondhand. There are so many items of clothing that I've really wanted, and I've just spent, I don't know, a few hours, a few days, maybe a week or so looking for it online or looking for it in the charity shop, and I find it. And I usually find it at a bargain. It is surprising. It's almost like the law of attraction. Some of my favourite places to secondhand shop are charity shops, of course, because they're really affordable, and of course it's going to a good cause. Vintage shops, these are usually a little bit more pricey, but they're more curated, so you can find more specific items, like, you know, if you're after a vintage jacket or a vintage pair of jeans, vintage shops are obviously really good for that. Then I also love using apps like Depop or eBay, or even Facebook Marketplace. Like Facebook Marketplace, I live on there, it's so great, especially for furniture, but there's also clothes on there too. Depop is an amazing place for fashion though. If you're like, I need a black dress, you can type in black dress and your size and you'll find one, and yeah, it's amazing. But I know that there are other ones like Vinted, ThreadUp, Vestiaire Collective is one for designer items. If you like buying designer handbags or designer shoes, you can get those secondhand. There are so many others. Let me know in the comments about others locally to your country so we can all help each other out. But there are so many clothes out there. There are so many things already out there that people are just going to throw to landfill or just donate to a charity shop that might end up in landfill afterwards, that you could buy and you could use and enjoy, because one man's trash is another man's treasure. Or I should say one person's trash is what another person's treasure. None of this, none of this patriarchy. Let me know if you want me to do a whole video on secondhand shopping, because I'd quite like to go secondhand shopping and take you along and show you my tips and tricks, because I've been doing it for a while. The second thing is to choose the right materials. I didn't immediately consider this when I first kind of became more aware and more conscious of my shopping habits and how bad fashion could be for the environment, but it's something that I have increasingly become aware of, and now I know that the materials in your clothes are seriously important, because they're either made from synthetic materials that won't biodegrade, or they're made from more sustainable materials or recycled materials, and they're way better for the environment. So 2/3 of textile purchases are actually made from synthetic materials that will not biodegrade when they end up in landfill. So many clothes end up in landfill because people buy them at such a fast rate. They don't get sold, they end up going to landfill because of that, or they end up going to landfill because charity shops are taking them on and they can't handle the amount, or just because people throw them in the bin. There's a real issue with a lot of clothes ending up in landfill, not biodegrading, and that is why choosing a material that will biodegrade and choosing a material that takes a lot less resources to create in the first place is really important. So I have got a t-shirt on actually that's made from TENCEL, and this is a 100% wood-based fibre. So it's 100% biodegradable, 100% botanic origin, and it's 100% sustainable. So when you're out shopping, make sure to look at the label and keep an eye out for TENCEL Modal, TENCEL Lyocell, and TENCEL fibres, because those are wood-based materials. Other ones to look out for are organic cotton, fair trade cotton, recycled polyester, recycled nylon, anything recycled cotton even, because that means obviously it's been recycled, which is great. So similarly, if you're vegan, you're checking labels for animal ingredients, you want to do the same when it comes to clothes. So the Make It Feel Right campaign is all about raising awareness that there is an alternative in cellulose-based fibres in clothing that are not only biodegradable, but also they are using a whole lot less resources. So just like in veganism, where you're choosing to boycott animal ingredients and to avoid them, it's really important to do the same with your clothing and to say to the fashion industry, we don't want these unsustainable materials in our clothing anymore. We want the biodegradable option, we want the sustainable option, and you can do that by looking at the label. So moving on from that, if you want to change the way the fashion industry works, you want to support ethical and sustainable companies. You want to champion them in what they're doing, and if you're going to get something new, go for a sustainable brand that makes it very clear about what practices they are doing from across their supply chain. They're being very transparent about where the clothes are made, they're using sustainable materials in their clothing, and they're also being diverse in their marketing, and they're just all round ticking all the boxes. So if you are unsure about whether a company is ethical or not, then I highly recommend you check out the Fashion Revolution. They have templates on there for you to send to companies where you can email them, ask them about their supply chain and where their clothes are made and whether they're being paid a fair living wage. Or you can just write them an email yourself or contact them yourself. Make sure you read through the lines, and if they're being very vague, if they're not telling you details, then that is a red flag. They need to be as transparent as possible, and there are loads of companies out there who are completely transparent and you can understand exactly where everything's coming from at every point. So some of my favourite brands personally, please leave your favourites in the comments below because there are a lot of them, but some of the ones that I love are People Tree. I'm wearing some People Tree trousers right now. I love Sea Salt. I've got so many of their striped tops and they are a Cornish company. I love Girlfriend Collective for activewear. I have about 4 or 5 of their gym kits. I love Vegger for trainers. I've worn Vegger trainers over and over again, and they have vegan trainers that are sustainably made. Also Hire the Label, Organic Basics and Lara Intimates for underwear. Parlour Eyewear for sunglasses. Tom's and Beyond Skin for shoes. Tom's had the 1-for-1 program, and Beyond Skin are vegan leather. And Reformation is another brand in the US that is, I think, one of the first to do the whole sustainable thing, and they're pricey but their clothes are really lovely. So yeah, I did talk about this on Instagram the other day and shared loads of my favourite ethical brands, but please comment down below what your favourite are. There are lots of resources now and there are lots of websites telling you whether brands are ethical or not. Fashion Revolution does have an index. There's a Good On You app, I think, that tells you about brands, and yeah, try and just find brands that are smaller, more local. They are probably up against less when it comes to producing at a higher rate and cutting corners when it comes to their factories and their supply chain. The best bet is to opt for brands that are local to you, that are much smaller and that are clearly not fast fashion. They're producing a high rate of clothing over and over and over, always new stuff in. It's a big red flag. So the fourth thing is to stick to the classics. As I've decluttered my wardrobe, I have got rid of lots of trendy items, lots of things that one year were in, the next year they were out, and lots of things from fast fashion brands that I thought were really cool at the time, but were not classic items of clothing and that didn't last longer than maybe 6 months. So really look at your wardrobe and understand what things you will wear over and over and over again that will stand the test of time. Some classic items you can go for is a really well-fitting coat that will be versatile in your wardrobe so you can pair it with lots and lots of different clothes. A classic pair of shoes that you know you can wear out and about for a variety of things. I live in my Vegger white trainers because they go with everything. Some really classic pair of trousers that fit you well and that suit either casual or smarter outfit. A good denim jacket and some really good jeans is another great classic. Also, of course, an outfit that you know you can go to when you're going to be going out for the evening, so like a little black dress or a really beautiful jumpsuit or dress that just makes you feel incredible and that you know it always makes you feel incredible. These things don't have to be neutral colours. If you love colour, go for it. Go for prints, go for colour. But try and move towards a capsule wardrobe where everything works together and they aren't too trend-led, so they're not going to date. And number 5 is to only buy what you love. It's really easy to be tempted by trends, to be tempted by what other people are wearing that you think look cool on them, but you're not sure if they're gonna look good on you, but you buy it anyway because it looks cool on them. And I've done it so many times where I've just gone out and bought stuff and I've kind of liked it. I thought, yeah, it's kind of nice, but it's a bargain, so I'll buy it. Try and only stick to things that you love and that you know that you will wear. If you ask yourself the question, do I love this? Do I feel incredible in this when you're wearing it in the changing room or when you're looking for it online? Then that should eliminate a lot of things, because when I used to shop a lot, I used to buy a lot of things that I was kind of on the fence about, and I thought, yeah, it's kind of nice, I'm sure I could find time to wear it, or I'm sure I'd find an outfit that it would suit. If you're not 100%, don't buy it. So some of the ways that you can also help this is to write a list if you're going shopping. So if you know that you need a pair of trousers, only buy a pair of trousers. Don't be tempted by buying other things too. Stick to the list. And also if you're online, if you're on a computer, pin stuff first or save it somewhere and come back to it later, come back to it tomorrow, or come back to it next month. Sit on it and think about it, and if you still want it, then it's probably the right decision. Impulse shopping was a problem for me, and I know that now I actually have the opposite problem where I sit on things for so long that I just don't end up buying them. But yeah, only buy what you love so that you know that those things are going to be staying in your wardrobe for a really long time. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Obviously the most sustainable thing when it comes to shopping is to just not shop, but I didn't really think I would put that in because this is about when you do go shopping. I've made videos about how to stop shopping before. I think I've made 2 of them. I've also talked about my experience as a shopaholic. I've made countless minimalism and declutter videos and not to buy things. So I didn't want to kind of go on about that anymore. But obviously when you're buying something, it's using resources. So just really think about whether you need something or whether you're just buying it for the sake of it. And try a shopping ban if you have a real problem. I did that for like a year where I just didn't buy any new clothes, and it was a game changer. I decluttered instead of shopping, and now I'm addicted to decluttering rather than shopping. But let me know in the comments your top tips for sustainably shopping, your favourite ethical brands, and give me feedback because I love to hear it, and also it really helps everyone else out if they have more information in the comments as well as in my video, because I don't have all the answers. You guys are a lot smarter than I am actually. So I will see you in my next video. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to check out the Make It Feel Right campaign. I'll leave all the information and links below, all about TENCEL and how you can look out for the wood-based cellulose fibres in your clothes. Thanks for watching, see you next time.